Step 3. Translate the player to the right with delta time. Let's preview that first. Okay, so this is using the delta time. If we go to the previous step, it flew off the screen quickly. Now when we use delta time, it's going much slower and more appropriately, though we will need to adjust the speed. Objective: move the player to the right 1 meter per second. Notice that the player is moving off the screen too quickly. This is because we are moving the player 1 meter to the right every frame. Assuming the frame rate is 60 frames per second, the player is moving 60 meters per second. Obviously that's too fast. Instead, we want to move the player a small amount each frame. We can accomplish this by using a delta time calculation to move the player 1 meter per second. Go ahead and try to add a delta time calculation to the translate call. Okay, again I have a hint that says search online for Unity meters per second. I could open my browser and try that out. And it brings me up, brings the top result as time delta time. So if I click on that, it'll tell me about the docs of time delta time. And I can see an example of how it can be used. Okay, so if I go back to here, I need to use time delta time in my translate call. Go ahead and try to add a delta time calculation. So it's going to be similar to the last thing I typed. Translate, same direction, and we need to add the delta time component, which we multiply times our direction. Okay, now we're moving correctly. So let's go to the next task, correct the mistakes. Looking at the code, let's see what is wrong here. Okay, quickly I can see that that should be vector 3 and this should be right. Okay, times time delta time, that's right. Transform dot transform, that should be transform dot translate. There we go. I want to understand the code. We move the player to the right over time by multiplying it with the blank property. Well, that's the delta time property. We should always include a blank calculation to incorporate real time in any movement. Okay, this is talking about delta time. Great. Okay,